This video will provide an update on missing and delayed requests for evidence. So if you file your case with USCIS, you might have experienced issues with receiving a request for evidence. Maybe the online system says that a request for evidence was issued, but you've never received one. And it can be very stressful to a lot of our clients and a lot of our YouTube viewers asking those questions. What do we do that we know there's an RFE, request for evidence coming, but we haven't received it? And it's been already weeks and sometimes months. So in this video, I'll address some of the most recent updates from USCIS for your benefit. So if you are interested in this topic, I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Immigration Channel. This is a place where we get the most up-to-date immigration news, immigration information, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California. And we have offices in Connecticut as well as Palo Alto, California. I help clients in all 50 states and all over the world. And in this video, I'm going to specifically address a concern and a problem that we see coming from USCIS, where you are actually going through the process, maybe filing for a green card based on marriage, maybe a green card based on employment, maybe you have a work visa, and sometimes they issue a request for evidence. And in many cases recently, those requests for evidence never arrive or come very, very late, leaving you literally no time to respond. We'll talk about what you have to do. Before we do that, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And also, give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. And as always, if you are stuck and you need help with your case, you know what to do. You text me 619-483-4549. This is also a WhatsApp number. You can send a message and schedule a time to speak with me about your case. So let's talk about the most recent update from USCIS about the issue of delayed requests for evidence notices and missing requests for evidence notices. So yes, since the pandemic started, we've seen a lot of delays in many areas of USCIS. Between interviews being delayed, people waiting for the receipt notices, and the most recent biggest problem in the past year is that sometimes when you have a case with USCIS, it's normal for them to request more evidence. It could be as simple as a birth certificate, or maybe some tax returns were insufficient, you need more documents to satisfy the affidavit of support. These are the most common requests for evidence we've seen. And the problem is that if you check on the status of your case online and you see that a request for evidence was issued, but you never receive it, what do you do at that point? So the response from USCIS that we received in the past couple of weeks was that they acknowledge the problem, and the problem specifically comes if you have a case pending at the Texas Service Center and some applications as well in Vermont. It's less happening in California at the moment, but it could be. But it's the same procedure. So first of all, USCIS is aware of that issue. And because they're aware of the issue, they are addressing this. So first of all, they said that any applicant that has not received their request for evidence, of course, have to contact USCIS and let them know and continue to require until they actually receive it. Eventually, all requests for evidence will be sent. The issue is that they have such a big backlog in their mailroom, specifically the Texas Service Center, that a lot of these requests for evidence, once they're being issued, they're not being sent. And sometimes it can take even months. So the thing is that once you eventually get your request for evidence, if you know it's delayed, eventually it's going to come. Once it's going to arrive, if time is not sufficient to respond, USCIS said it will extend the amount of time that you have to respond to the request for evidence as long as you can show that the actual RFE, request for evidence, was received very late. You can easily prove it because the actual mail, the stamp on the envelope will show when that request for evidence was sent to you. And you can show it to USCIS that, it just arrived late and you need more time to respond. As I mentioned before in a previous video that I've done a few weeks ago, that USCIS has extended the flexibility to respond to requests for evidence, motions to reopen, appeals. This flexibility will apply also to cases where you receive your request for evidence late or it's missing completely and then they have to reissue it. Typically, they give you an extra 60 days to respond to your request for evidence from the deadline that they set to the original request for evidence. So you actually have an extra 60 days to respond to all these notices. Currently, this has been extended all the way through October 23rd, 2022, and we suspect that they're probably going to extend it all through the end of the year. So if you are going through a process with USCIS and you've seen online that you have a request for evidence issued and you have not received it and you know there's a deadline, you have to follow up with USCIS on a regular basis. Eventually, your request for evidence will be located and will be reissued. It might come a month late, it might come 2 months later. Eventually, it will arrive, and you should still have enough time to respond to your request for evidence because of the extended flexibility. If you are outside of those 60 days that they give you an extension, you can still respond to the request for evidence with an explanation, with proof to show that your request for evidence was so delayed or it was missing and it was finally reissued that you had no other way but to respond to it as soon as you received it within a reasonable time. And we believe that USCIS is not going to be considered those cases abandoned or denied for lack of response, as long as you can prove that this is exactly what happened. The Texas Service Center is working on fixing and catching up with this issue, and the most recent notice said that as of July 12, they're pretty much all up to date with their mail at the Texas Service Center. So probably give yourself another 30 days for them to catch up and be able to send you all these requests for evidence that were issued, and as well as those that are missing. You should be getting them on time. But with this update, they're now currently up to date, even though they had a major backlog. These are good news, which means you will be getting your request for evidence on time. Don't panic, but it's good to know because I haven't seen this update anywhere, and as always, we try to bring to you the most recent information from USCIS, from State Department, right here on this channel. So that's why it's super important for you to stay subscribed and share this video with somebody else that might be impacted by this delay in issuance of requests for evidence or missing requests for evidence completely, which causes a lot of anxiety, I can imagine, because nobody wants to get their case closed just because they didn't answer to something that they never received. Well, once again, hopefully this information is helpful. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you need my help with your case, text me right here, 619-483-4549. I'm here to help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.